So the Riot Grand Prix Partner Series tournament was this past weekend. I competed in it, and what it is basically a Riot Invite Legends of Runeterra tournament for people that are in the Riot Partner Program. So it's a bunch of content creators battling for a $1,000 top prize, and I ended up placing third in the tournament, and I'm very happy with how it went considering the unique decks that I brought. So I wanted to kind of go over my deck building process, show you the 3 decks that I brought, and my reasoning and explanation for why I brought the decks that I did. So in typical saucy mailman fashion, the decks that I brought were fairly unique, definitely off-meta decks, but here's my reasoning and my decision-making for the decks that I brought. So for the tournament, you brought 3 decks, you got 1 ban, and you had to win with the 2 decks that you had that weren't banned. And you couldn't have any overlapping champions between regions or any identical region combinations. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to bring 3 separate decks, each of which highlighted one of the new champions that was just recently released, because they're all pretty sweet, and I wanted to kind of show off how cool they were. So the 3 decks I brought were Viktor Teemo, Zoe Fizz, and Riven Lee Sin. So of course I was going to bring a Teemo deck, and Viktor pairs pretty decently with him. I was originally going to do like a Teemo Sejuani deck, but that didn't have Viktor in it, and Viktor's really, really sweet. So I'll briefly show you all 3 decks and kind of explain card choices and, you know, tech choices and whatnot that I decided for the tournament itself. All right, so first off, here's the Viktor Teemo list. Of course, I'm going to bring a Teemo deck, and this is really similar to my Teemo Sejuani deck that I was playing, but it's playing a lot of the new cards, specifically the Ballistic Bot, which has turned out to be like one of the best cards from this new set. Ballistic Bot is really, really, really good in the Sejuani version, but it's still quite good in the Viktor version, obviously, because this is just really good. So I'm running 3 of these, Iterative Improvement. I decided to keep this in. It's such a flexible card, especially being able to grab your opponent's followers if need be. And it's just a really good flexible card, and I liked it a lot. Mystic Shot. And then, so here's where things get a little unique. So I'm playing a Give It All version as kind of my finisher in it. And what's really good about this is Viktor gives you a lot of keywords, obviously, but we're also playing the Neandroid, which this card is incredible on its own. You have a lot of, you know, created cards for the augment in this because we're playing things like Chump Wump and whatnot. So it gets big on its own, but it's got elusive. So being able to play Give It All with this can give all your stuff elusive, and so does Teemo. So it all kind of synergizes well together. So that's why I'm playing a couple copies of Ruthless Raider. This is granting Overwhelm and Tough, and it's just a decent tempo play. Lets you be a little more aggressive, which is pretty cool. Couple copies of Shared Spoils. It acts as like pseudo card draw. Puffcat Peddler, of course. And here is, this card itself is really, really good. This was kind of a decision that I made in my decks to bring landmark removal. I figured Plaza was going to be everywhere because it's one of, if not the most powerful card from the new set, and so I wanted a way to deal with it in my decks, so I put Aftershock in this, and I threw some landmark removal in my Riven Lee Sin deck as well. But this card it's just so good. It's super flexible. You can hit their Nexus with it if you need to kind of finish out the game, and it's just a really good card. And of course, Chump Wump and Viktor, because Viktor is super, super sweet. So this is my deck that I built to kind of highlight Viktor as my first champion. So the next deck we brought was Fizz Zoe. This is a really aggressive elusive deck, and I built it around playing elusives. And it's very quick and very powerful, but it has a lot of new cards as well. So of course, Zoe, Fizz, some Guiding Touch because healing is important, but also burst spells for Fizz is really good. Hush, I'm playing the Lunari Shade Stalkers because they're elusive. Mountain Goat is an all-star in this deck. It's giving you gems, which are really great for your elusives, and it's just a good body. Pale Cascade. Probably the MVP of the deck, though, is Sparklefly. This card is a 2-mana 1/2 elusive lifesteal, and against all the aggressive decks, being able to get in tons and tons of lifesteal is really good because we have things like Pale Cascade, we have the gems off of this guy, we have Mentor of the Stones to kind of make it bigger as well. This was really great paired with elusives. I threw in a couple copies of Pocket Aces as well. Bastions were very, very good. And then the Solari Sunforger, this card is just incredible. 4 mana, 5/4 lifesteal is really, really good. If you're getting beat down, you can kind of come back against aggro, but it's also, an aggressive stat line, and we're playing a pretty aggressive deck. So it fit in quite well. Also, Full 3 copies of Wiggly Burblefish. This is usually a 0 to 2 mana 3/1 elusive that gives you a card. This was also really good and just has performed for me really well. And then a couple copies of Playful Trickster, which was also an all-star in this deck. With all these elusive threats, being able to get 2 attack phases, on a turn is just really, really, really powerful. And a lot of times this ended the game. But yeah, this deck was really good. Oh, and 1 Lounging Lizard, just because it rounded out the curve really well. I don't like tons and tons of these, but the one, it's okay. But this deck was surprisingly good. It outperformed my expectations, and I think this is just a solid archetype that you could take on ladder and do really well. It's very aggressive. Zoe's awesome. She's giving you cards to protect Fizz, and it's just great. It works out really well, and it performed quite well also. And then the last deck I brought was the Riven Lee Sin deck. This is really similar to the Lee Sin combo decks we were seeing before, but now we're using Riven to kind of have another way to give him Overwhelm and also put on a ton of pressure. So we're playing some of the Reforged units, the Rune Weaver. This one's really solid. It's reforging, good stats. It's aggressive. Couple copies of Blade Squire. Eye of the Dragon, again, just to hedge our bets against aggressive decks. This is really good. Couple copies of Nopify. I put in 2 copies of the Sonic Wave. Helps level up Lee Sin. Giving challengers really strong, especially when we need things like this to die, or if we need to get in, a damage with the eye dragons that it makes. Full 3 copies of Weapon Hilt, an extra copy of Might just in case we need more ways to give Overwhelm. Riven, who is really, really strong, and it's also awesome when you open her up and see all her cards she makes. Riven's great. River Shaper, another all-star in this deck. It's helping us draw cards, and I was really, really happy with how this performed. And then, like I said before, I wanted landmark removal, so we put in a couple copies of Scorched Earth, just because I needed to make sure we had ways to deal with Plaza specifically, also Peak and the Hex Core. So these are in there, which was very, very good for us. Couple copies of Sharpened Resolve, excellent combat trick, did really, really well. Full 3 copies of Concussive Palm. Solid card, stalls the game out, and it also really works really well with Overwhelm, so this is good. Deny, Deep Meditation, Lee Sin, and then I had a couple copies of Errol the Tracker. The reason I put this in here is because I thought it might be really good against aggressive decks if we could get it out and use it as removal every turn. This was probably the weakest card in the deck. If I was rebuilding it again, I would drop those and probably put in just like another Might and another Blade Squire. It underperformed for sure. It was the weakest card that we had, and a lot of times it was just a dead card in our hands as well, and it's a little expensive. But overall, this deck was also very strong and performed pretty well. The tournament itself was an absolute blast. The Zoe Fizz and the Riven Lee Sin decks were excellent. They're very, very strong, super powerful. Highly recommend them if you're wanting to take something on ladder and have a good time with. The Viktor Teemo deck underperformed. It was hard. I couldn't decide which Teemo deck I wanted to bring. I had to bring Teemo, right? Like, I'm not gonna just not bring Teemo. And I wanted to bring Viktor because he's one of the new champions, so I paired them together. I don't think it's as good as like Sejuani Teemo, and probably just like the Hex Core Go Hard Shadow Isles Teemo deck was gonna be better. That's what I originally was gonna bring, but I last minute decided I had to bring Viktor just to showcase all the 3 new champs, of course. It's the deck that also cost me my win to get into the grand finals, just because I could not get a win with the Teemo Viktor deck. But it was a great time. I had so much fun. Congrats to BBG and Alan, who took first and second. And kicked my ass. So, but yeah, I'm going to show you some gameplay. I'm going to show you the series that I played against Alan to get into the semifinals, because it was super good, great play, and he's, obviously an excellent player. But yeah, those are my decks. That's what I brought. There's lists in the description below if you want to copy them. Remember, of course, these are tournament kind of tech lists, so you may want to adjust them for your ladder experience and what you're seeing. But yeah, I figured you'd enjoy these. I've had a lot of people asking me why I brought the decks I brought. How come I brought these off-meta decks that weren't 3 Plaza decks, because Plaza's really, really good. I was assuming other people were going to expect a lot of Plaza decks and bring a lot of landmark removal, so I chose not to bring landmark decks just because I thought that the field is going to be littered with them, which they were, and I didn't want to deal with landmark removal, which there was less than I expected. but I didn't want to like lean heavily on them. Plus, Plaza's just so good. Plaza's insane. It's very, very strong. And I didn't want to bring it just because I figured everyone else was going to, and I didn't want to play a bunch of Plaza mirrors also. And you know me, I wanted to bring unique stuff and flex my deck building prowess. But yeah, this is all I had for you. Enjoy the gameplay of the series I'm going to show you here. Come hang out on my Twitch channel sometime every Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific. Keep me company. But that's all I got for you. I really appreciate you very much. Hopefully you enjoy this game series against Alan here. You're amazing. I love you. And until next time, you stay saucy. So I can't play Teemo. We got to win with all of them. Let's go this first. Skaven are still pretty great though. Skavens are great. Alright, we're against Bird. This is good, this is good. This is good.
Yo, saucy.
Hey! Yoda, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for the follow. I mean the sub. Same thing. My brain's everywhere. I need more coffee. It's a burn deck. He's using the right Guardian.
To serve the greater good, I write the rules.
His deck is more aggressive than mine. Ooh, beam.
It is written. What's a warrior but hands to wield a weapon?
The heart and mind to aim its strike. It must be done.
I'll put the damage on Riven.
They will reclaim what is ours.
I welcome the end of this chase.
Does he have a mystic shot?
We each hold a world within.
Joe Biden walks on stage. I announced that P monsters. Quick attack. 2. I need the healing. He'll mystic shot this. Keeps Riven alive. His first presidential executive order.
Breathe in, breathe out.
Cool.
Force is meaningless without skill.
A pleasure to see you, Master.
Big time Dwarfer, yes. All of my foils are in that deck.
Choose the right time to strike. Our enemies cannot hide.
I think he's got Scorched Earth. Trying to keep damage off of this.
Not all mean well.
So smart. We still have Eye Out. We have this. Okay.
What is gained when we return malevolence?
One Scorched Earth down is good. This is a great card in the
They
matchup.
will reclaim what is ours.
I welcome the end of this chase.
Water changes but never breaks.
Sometimes the earth be scorched. We're at 4.
The power of the written word.
We made a blade.
I am
Hey,
evolved.
MRS. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Violence to end violence.
I think we're just gonna make the blade. And that's 2 spells for this.
Even shattered hearts mend in time.
Six.
Breathe in, breathe out.
Extend your senses.
The dragon himself.
Okay.
Fly to them on broken wings.
How's it going, dude? I'm doing really well. How are you doing, friend? What's up? We just played.
My land, center your spirit.
There's still much to answer for.
Silly thing.
Finally, peace.
What form will the waters take?
I needed to go for it, Diggs.
Break the ties that bind.
I needed to play the spells too.
Really just needed some tape to reassemble.
This is a good draw. I'm fine with a Farron next turn.
What is gained when we return malevolence?
We have this. Sometimes you gotta go for it. You can't play around everything all the time, and he used a bunch of removal on my first Lee Sin.
No turning back now for the lost.
We could just take 12. Might be right to just take 12.
Conflict is all in the mind.
Well, shit.
Patience is underrated.
I sense their power.
Strike firm. Prepare yourself.
I didn't think we need it. I was just keeping up all the denies.
Ionia endures.
Thank you, guys. All right, this is going to be a hard one. This is going to be a tough match. It's going to be a tough one. This deck's going to be real hard to beat. Ash, I love you.
Two, three, four. Armed and ready.
Don't
Push
block.
on without me.
He has so many ways to kill Zoe, and I don't have a way to protect it. His deck, I have his deck list. We have open deck lists. It is a go hard deck. Golden Teemo. I mean, you gotta have Golden Teemo. That's a good draw.
Have a mushroom. Have 3.
Boundary. Zero cost ASOL, pretty good. It's a good draw.
Oh, if mushrooms could talk. Enter, traveler, and stop staring.
Make him use removal.
I've always been a fun guy.
Mystic shot. You just have 3 of them? No, I had to ban the. So the other one was a Nivea control. I had to ban that. None of my lists can beat a Nivea reanimator. I had to.
Witness perfection.
There's like literally no way I can beat a Nivea reanimator.
Prime and ready.
Four. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could play this as bait.
Trickster never loses because Zoe makes the rules!
I got ways to find me mushrooms.
Unseen, unheard.
Safety disengaged.
Oh, that's a harvest right there. Speak, stars. Speak, I say. Go, floaty crystals. Would a mushroom help?
Pitiful.
At least I have gems.
Not all.
We have burble fish.
My future.
And if it helps.
26. I think it's just this. I guess we can play a burble fish. I'm gonna probably playful trickster next turn and try to get him with this. So I want to be able to open attack. I don't think I care about the lifesteal. Maybe it's burble fish. Nah, it's this.
A good scene on this one. work.
I have to put 1 gem on this so we can't kill it with Vile Feast. I have to put 2 gems on it. No, we can just do this. Okay, we're actually fine.
Truth.
Okay, we're doing this.
Forgive me.
I didn't do nothing!
Eggnog? Eggnog's amazing. We having the vengeance. Blevins, it's really good in this list. I guess he just has the Zoe. Or the Teemo.
Whatever the cost.
Vengeance. Mystic shot. Get excited. No gems. Or no. Damn. Like if he draws it, he has it. Whew, that was a good one. That was a good game. Thank you for that follow. I appreciate it. Woo!
I bear a message from... Oh, what's that? What you doing over there?
New follower detected.
Thank you for that follow. I appreciate it.
New follower detected.
Look, I brought you this night bloom. Come home with me?
Thank you for those follows. I appreciate it. Drunken Shoe and Riots Are Fun 2005.
Let me at 'em.
This is removal. Bait. Sparklefly is actually better than Zoe. Sparklefly is really good.
Time for the main event.
It's open deck list, big fan of mine, so he can see my deck list and I can see their deck list.
Enter, traveler, and stop staring.
It's a tournament game. Open book exams, but fun. True. Is it just me or does Burblefish? Burblefish is incredibly good in this deck. Like, it's actually nuts. That's fine. Burblefish is among the best cards in the deck. Like, no joke. Not trolling. This is usually a 0 mana 3/1 that gives you a card. Best card in the deck. Sparklefly is the actual best card in this deck.
Break the ties that bind.
I want to give Fizz elusive.
You will not break me.
Do this now. Hey Saucy, been having fun with the ramp deck for miss. Which one is it? The new Ace Ultrando one? Oh yeah, deck is really fun. Debating if I want to do this. I kind of do. Do it.
Watch and learn.
This is at 4. He's 2 spells to kill it. It's only 2 mana. We shouldn't be dead here. We get more gems. We need a playful trickster. Fish. I just want to keep damage off of this. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bastion. I have a Mystic Shot. Phew. Thank you so much for watching my video. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe, hit the little bell notification, and help me destroy the YouTube algorithm overlords by leaving a comment and liking this video. I appreciate you very much. You're amazing, and until next time, you stay saucy.